Okay, so we've talked about that. Now what I would like to do is talk to you about some tools that you can use and some strategies that you can use to get more followers on Twitter. What makes Twitter so darn powerful and so exciting is the fact that it's opened up its API, which means it's got an interface that allows programmers and developers to design third-party applications that make it super, super powerful. And one of the more powerful applications that I want to talk to you about is one called TweetDeck. Now, just so you know, TweetDeck, you can get to the TweetDeck webpage by going to tweetdeck.com. And this is an application that works on the Macintosh and on Windows. So you don't have to worry about, and I think even on Linux, look at that. So you don't really have to worry about what operating system you're on in order to use TweetDeck. Now here's what's kind of cool about TweetDeck. Let me go ahead and just pull this up here so you can kind of see exactly what TweetDeck is. TweetDeck is an application that allows you to create different columns for different kinds of things going on in Twitter. For example, I've got this one column here that is all the tweets that are going on with my friends. Now, if you're following thousands of people like I am, it can get kind of overwhelming following everybody because literally every couple of seconds there's something new that's going on Twitter. And it can overwhelm you and take up a lot of your time. So what's really cool about TweetDeck, it's got this little X here. You can actually shut this off. So I'm going to go ahead and delete my friends column. And what that means is I'm not going to see any tweets now that come from my friends unless, for example, I want to see it. And this makes it really, really powerful. So now what I'm seeing is first of all, I've set up a column for replies, which is actually standard inside of TweetDeck. And these are all the people that have included my name somehow in their thing. So here's something that says, I'm a social media guru, which is kind of cool. And here's all the people that are retweeting and mentioning my name. And the way TweetDeck works is it looks at what replies have happened since the last time you've opened TweetDeck, which is kind of cool. But I think the coolest thing about TweetDeck is the fact that you can set up groups. And you can set up groups of experts. For example, David Sarno is a journalist for the Los Angeles Times. I've got him in a group called Experts along with Guy Kawasaki, and I know I pronounced his name wrong earlier, and a number of other people. So what's kind of cool is this allows you to filter out certain people into certain groups. And you would easily miss what they had to say if you were just looking at them amongst all the other tweets that are going on in any given day. So this is a really powerful feature of TweetDeck, the ability to set up different groups for different purposes. Another cool thing that you can do is you can search on keywords. For example, this is I'm searching on the hashtag SMSS09, which stands for Social Media Success Summit 2009. These are all the people that have tweeted on that particular anything really related to Social Media Success Summit 2009, and allows me to monitor it. You can also set up searches for keywords, like here's a search on social media. And inside here is all the latest up-to-the-date information about what everybody is saying about social media. Now, what's kind of cool is you can also do filters. So there's tons of people talking about this keyword thing. Let's say that I want to filter what's in this column to include perhaps just marketing. Notice as I'm typing in marketing, a bunch of things have disappeared, and now it's only looking at social media and marketing for this particular instance. Or what's really cool is these filters you can set up to include or disclude certain names or certain time frames. Very, very powerful stuff. Direct messages is another thing. You can look at and send direct messages directly within TweetDeck. These are all sorts of direct messages, and what TweetDeck does is it includes all the messages that you've sent and all the messages that you've received. And of course, you can use a filter here, and you can filter out your own name if you only want to see messages that people have sent to you, but not messages that you have sent to others. So you have to choose name, and then minus sign, and then Mike _ Stelzner, and now all of a sudden all my direct messages that I've sent other people are missing, and instead what's in here are the messages that they have sent me. So very, very powerful stuff. Now what's also cool about Twitter is that you can literally tweet directly within inside of Twitter. But one of the coolest things that I really like about Twitter is it has a built-in URL shortener, and let me just show you. When you're in Twitter and you type in a URL, like let's say this is a very important, if I could only type fast, and I'm just going to copy and paste this a bunch of times, you'll notice that as I'm typing, my counter over here has gone down and it's turned red because I ran out of space. So this is the URL that I want to paste in here. Let's say it's tweetdeck.com/beta. There's no room for it. So what can I do? Well, what's really cool is it's got a shortener service built into it. And what you can do is just paste your URL in right here, select your favorite URL shortener, and I happen to like is.gd, and hit the shorten button, and boom, look it's just all of a sudden created a shortened version of the same URL instead of this long one. And that frees me up for some more space. What's also cool about TweetDeck is not only can you tweet inside of Twitter, you can also update your Facebook identity. So you can have your Twitter stuff within TweetDeck go to Twitter and Facebook, and it's just a matter of setting up some things. There's lots of other cool stuff that Twitter has in here, and one of them is TwitScoop. When you click on TwitScoop, what it's going to do is it's going to show you a new column, and these are all the trending things that are going on inside the Twittersphere. Like, the bigger they are, the bigger the trend. Like Oprah, for example, is hot right now. Here's some other trends. Spectre and earthquake. It looks like there was an earthquake somewhere in Lancaster or something. So this is kind of a neat way for you to kind of figure out what's going on, and when you don't want to see that anymore, you just go ahead and close that down, hit the trash button. So TweetDeck is really an awesome program, but one of the cooler things also about this is you can program it it's to check excuse me, to check only so frequently. So for example, I have it set up to only give me updates every 30 minutes, and it runs in the background. And what's kind of cool about that is instead of getting real-time updates, I don't want it to fully disturb my workflow, so I just minimize this, and whenever there's an update going on, a little beep will happen and up will pop up this little thing that says, hey, there's been an update. And for example, you have 2 new replies and 1 direct message. I can choose to ignore it, or I can choose to go right back into TweetDeck. So TweetDeck is something really powerful, and there's a lot more to it, but I would strongly suggest you download it, and it will allow you to dramatically simplify the management of your Twitter experience. Okay, now what I'd like to talk about is some strategy around how and what you should be tweeting about. Now what I want to share with you is this strategy is just one of many different strategies, but it has worked enormously effectively for me. And I think you'll find great value in it because it's a very low maintenance type of a strategy. And simply said, the strategy is this. When you're in Twitter, I believe that what you should do is provide content that is of great value to your followers. And if we take a look here at what I've got here, let's just take a look at some of the things that I've been tweeting about. How Twitter helped me land Anthony Robbins as a client, and a link. The 5 future eras of social media, according to Forrester. Star Trek Here We Come, Invisible Cloaks, under development at 2 universities. And here's a question. And then why you need to use Twitter to grow your business, from Rain Today. Study, bad news for email marketers, spam reaches 19-month high. Facebook scam that steals your password. What's it take to be a social media expert? Not much, apparently. And proof that Nielsen is wrong. And then another study that says worldwide consumption of television media on the rise, Accenture. Now, here's the deal. These were all things that I tweeted about today. And they all kind of have a common theme. But guess what's really cool about this? I actually did all of the work for this yesterday, and I did it all in about 20 minutes. And I just scheduled it all to happen. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is kind of how to accomplish that. How can you maximize, number one, the time that you need to commit to Twitter, while also talking about things that are of great interest to your audience. Now, step number one for you is really to identify some keywords, some subjects, or some topics that you think your followers are interested in. Now, in my particular case, I'm a writer. I write about white papers, and my followers are writers, and my followers are marketers. And in particular, with Twitter, I am trying to grow up a big follower of marketers. The reason I'm trying to do that is because I'm working on a new book that's going to be specifically of great interest for marketers. So what I do with my Twitter account is I tend to talk about predominantly stuff that's going on in the world of social media marketing. And I'm very selective about what I choose to talk about, and very intentional. And by doing that, what I end up accomplishing is people that every day want to see what I'm tweeting about and to learn. And I've almost become a CNN, if you will, of news related to the social media marketing frontier. And it's really helped me to grow a lot of followers in a very short period of time. Currently, you can see I'm up to about 7,500, and in January, I think I was at 500 or 1,000 people. So you can see how I've been able, in a very, very short period of time, to increase my followers by doing this. So let me share with you what I do. Now, I have the fortune of using the Mac, and there are certain things available on the Mac that aren't necessarily available on other platforms, but I'm using Safari right now. And Safari has this killer little ability to have a bunch of bookmarks bundled together with one single click of a button. Watch as I do that. It's going to load up all the major websites that I go to kind of find the news. And while it's loading up all these different websites, I'm going to go ahead and pull up one other website. And this website is something you're going to be very interested in. It's a free service called tweetlater.com. And of course my browser is being a little pokey right now because it's pulling up tons of stuff right now. But let me just explain what TweetLater does. TweetLater.com is a free service that allows you to do a whole bunch of things. For example, you can monitor keywords and get daily email digests, kind of like you might already do with Google News, but this is strictly stuff that's related to what's going on in the Twittersphere. So the other thing that you can do with TweetDeck is you can set up automated replies. So when you get new followers from people, they will automatically, you can automatically, oops, not TweetDeck, it's TweetLater. Have I been saying TweetDeck all this time? Sorry. TweetLater.com. So you can do automatic followers on TweetLater, which is really awesome. And what that allows you to do is to, whenever anybody follows you, automatically follow them back, so you don't have to worry about managing that at all. And you can also send them an automated direct message. And what I do is I send people this message that says, hey, if you're interested in learning how to get more followers, check out this great article by Guy Kawasaki. That is really an excellent resource, and a lot of people say, wow, that's really awesome. Good job. Thanks for sending me that lead. So because I know a lot of people that follow me are new to Twitter, so that's why I send that to them. So this is TweetLater.com's homepage. It can do tons of cool stuff, but the main reason I use TweetLater is to schedule my tweets for the next day or for later in the day. Now, a couple things you should know is that there's been a lot of research done, and it turns out that for business people, the vast majority of business folks are tweeting or reading online between the hours of, let's say, 6 in the morning and noon Pacific or 1 Pacific time. So what I like to do is I like to schedule all of my tweets, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you. For example, here's today's tweets. All the tweets that you've already seen today were all scheduled, and there's quite a few of them here. I don't normally have this many. I just had a little more than normal. But all these tweets were scheduled yesterday afternoon. And what I do is I pick times of the day that I know people are most likely to be doing something. For example, I know that for me, it's near the top of the hour that I tend to take mental breaks and go into Twitter. So I try to do my tweets right around the top of the hour, either just before the top of the hour, like 5:58 a.m., or 7:01 a.m., or 7:04 a.m. So by scheduling them near the top of the hour, what I end up doing is capturing the most amount of possible people. At least that's my opinion. And I've experimented with this dramatically and found that tweeting later in the afternoon or even in the evenings or on weekends just does not have the same kind of retweet response as if I tweet during these hours that I'm talking about right here. So what's really cool about TweetLater is you literally go in here and you click New Tweet, and you can literally click on their little calendar, and I'm going to go ahead and schedule some stuff to go out for tomorrow, and close the calendar, and then you just say what time you want it to happen. So let's say it's 6:41 a.m. that I want it to happen, and I scroll down a little bit here and I see I've already got a couple of tweets scheduled for tomorrow. How to sharpen your Twitter following, good read. By the way, another tip that I do is I put stuff in parentheses to indicate